I'm just doing the 9th grade language arts. My standards are for 9th through 10th grade. Probably similar to Megan's, but I'm doing 9th grade. And I'm just going to start off today by passing out a worksheet. This is kind of a review of what we've already done here, and it has to do with identifying parts of speech. Okay, so hopefully you should already be familiar with this worksheet today. And as far as the worksheet goes, I would ask you to try and listen throughout my lesson today, and I would really like you to write at least 3 terms. You can also write the definitions if you would like. If you just want to write the 3 terms, that's fine as well, but I would like each person to write at least 3 terms, whether you want to flip the sheet over at the back or if you want to write there on the front, that's fine. Okay, but write at least 3 terms. Okay, first question I have for you today. In junior high, did any of you write for the school paper? Yeah? What was that like?
It was fun.
So what did you learn? How to write different types of stories, right? Okay, anybody else?
It's like a different form of writing.
Yeah, I mean you can write about the news, you can write about the sports, there's many different types of stories you can write about. Anybody else? What do we know about journalism? A lot of areas to think about when it comes to journalism. What do we know, but based on our previous experience?
I mean, there's different kinds. You have photojournalism. There's people who write for news stations, newspapers, magazines.
Right. Yeah, there's a lot that goes into that. Okay. I just have a few points here. Okay. Some of these words we've already gone over. Okay, so it's going to be kind of a review. I also have some new words in my lesson plan today. That way, okay, you can write some new terms down. That's why I'd like you to write those 3 terms down to make sure you continue to learn some new terms here. Okay, we're not going to go through all of these today, but just a few of the ones I have here are character. Okay, that's obviously a very main point in a story that you come across, whether you're reading a newspaper or a book. Okay, no matter what you're reading. Okay, a complete subject. Okay, that's obviously another important aspect of a story that you need to know. An exclamatory sentence and imperative sentence. There's a couple examples there. Okay, and basically those express a strong sudden feeling or a command or request. Okay, an evaluation chart. Okay, we're not going to really go into too much detail about this right now, but we will be using this later on in the quarter. Okay, an evaluation chart basically just helps the writer remember what the information is, the information that's being used or processed, and it's an outline that basically is going to show you the details of what you're going to be using. Okay, just a few more key terms here. Okay, we have plot, setting. Okay, most of us probably already know what these things are, but once again, these are very important. Okay, to remember. Okay, quotation marks when someone's actually saying or making a comment. Okay, we all know what a noun is, a proper noun, and just a simple sentence. Okay, we also have a verb and an action verb here. Okay, I think it's very important to point these out. Okay, when reading. Okay, even thinking about these when you're writing. Okay, it's necessary to use verbs, action verbs to show action. Okay, you have to be able to be interested in what you're reading. Okay, engage your audience if you're writing. Okay, we also have an adjective here. Okay, and an adverb. Okay, as far as an adverb goes, okay, can someone tell me what are the last 2 letters normally in an adverb? Not always, but what is that?
Oh, what?
Okay. Right? Okay. You agree. All right. She's right. Okay, we also have a preposition there. Okay, and talks about prepositional phrase there on our worksheet. Okay, as far as identifying the parts of speech. Okay, a first person point of view and also a third person point of view. Okay, we've already kind of gone over these. I've told you what these are as far as first person point of view and third person point of view. Okay, the Can anybody tell me like what the main differences are of these?
First person is the character is telling the story, and third person you have a narrator who is telling the story that sees everything.
Right. But basically, when it's third person, that narrator knows everything that's going on within the story. Okay, whether it's something they know about the character, the storyline, okay, whatever that may be. Yeah, we also have repetition effect here, and then specific details for effect. Just a couple different effects that relate to writing and also reading. Okay, irony. Okay, can anybody give an example of irony? Or an example of a symbol?
Irony would be like at the end of the movie, you expect that someone's dead, but then all of a sudden they're standing there and they're alive.
Right. Okay, so it's kind of like a surprise,
Yeah.
basically what you're saying, okay? Anybody else? Well, later on we will talk more about that, okay? Also have expanded moment here, which uses imagery to give the reader details and make it more lifelike, like a lifelike situation, okay? Just like Megan was talking about with Shakespeare, with Shakespeare, I mean, that relates to human nature and also lifelike situation. Okay, we also have a flashback here, okay, we all know what those are, okay, it goes back to a previous event, okay, or something that has happened in the past that had some significance, and also we have a full circle ending here. A full circle ending ends a piece of writing the same way that it began. Okay, so I think that's also a very important piece to know. Okay, elements to look for in a story. We have several here. Who, what, when, where, and how. Okay, I think this is pretty much self-explanatory. I don't think we need to go into a whole lot of depth here. Okay, you have to find out who is in the story. Okay. What is going on? What is the point of our story? When is it taking place? And where is it taking place? Okay. And then, of course, you always want to consider how. Okay, that's going to help us develop our thinking and our thought process. Okay. A little bit of a review here from what we just talked about at the beginning. What is the first person point of view? One of the characters is the blank and telling the blank. Fill in the blanks there. Sarah?
One of the characters is the narrator and telling the story.
Right. Good job. Okay, a few more points to consider here. Okay, within the news, okay, we have the location, okay, or the setting, pretty much the same deal there. Okay, once again, the people, who is involved, okay, who are we talking about within the story, the conflict, what is the problem that needs to be solved. Okay, within most stories, there's either a problem or some type of issue that needs to be found out. Okay, and then with elements, okay, what is making up the story? Okay, there's a point at the beginning, there's probably a point near the middle, maybe a point at the end. Okay, it's up to us to kind of figure out what those are. Okay, emotions. Okay, how is that going to spark our emotion? How's that going to spark our interest when we're reading a story? So what is going to catch our eye? What detail is going to stand out? Okay, we're going to do a unit in poetry coming up soon, and I'd just like to ask the question now, what do we know about poetry? Okay? Maybe just one or two people could say something, that would be great. If you know anything at all about poetry. Yes.
The words rhyme.
Okay, there's rhyme, that's good. Anything else? Okay. That's good. We'll talk more about that at a later date. And some feedback here. What did we learn today? What did we learn today? Let's name at least 3 things that we learned today.
Different points of view of the story.
Okay, different points of view. That's 1.
Different kinds of journalism.
Okay, different types of journalism. That's 2. And 1 more. How about the elements? What do you look for in a story? Remember who, what, where, how, okay, all those. Alright? Okay. Your homework assignment for tonight is to find a poem that relates to something that you enjoy. Okay? So find something that can spark your interest, and then we will develop that, okay, from here on out. Okay, I now have a video I'd like to show. It's called The Basics of Mobile Journalism. I think you're really going to enjoy this video. It's actually pretty funny. There's a guy that's using his iPhone to film a video, and he's about to get blown away in the wind. So, enjoy it real quick.
You know, it's really important for things like when Hurricane Irene came to Long Island, because we were able to get things and get places that TV couldn't get to, or that print would have been too late to. Or even people who have conventional internet websites wouldn't be able to cover because their audience didn't have power. The things that I was doing was interviewing people on the spot, pushing stuff to TwitVid and YouTube, and that was going to other people's mobile phones. So anybody that didn't have power was still able to find out what was happening in their local area. And I was getting that information to them within minutes of whatever was happening. Well, today I'm working with a gentleman who has celiac disease. And the way that he raises money and awareness is by kicking footballs inside a world record time. So what I've done is I've shot quite a bit of video with my iPhone of him kicking the ball crossing the goalpost, him approaching the ball at high speeds, shots of his eyes. And as that's happening, I'm feeding it to YouTube. I've also taken quite a few stills with the phone and shared it on Twitter and shared it on Facebook and said, hey, here's Craig Pinto from Mineola, here's what he's doing. Because after I've done all of that, people will now have an idea about what's going on. But if they want to know the full story, they have to check back later. So I've driven traffic to the site a few times. I'm also raising awareness that, hey, this is what I'm doing right now. It makes people feel like they're really connected to Newsday. I think about the whole thing as me prepping up to go live. Because everything about mobile journalism is enabling me to be in real time. You do need things like an iPhone, something that you can be connected to the web at all times. That also has the capabilities to take photos and shoot good quality video. You have the standard camera app, and then I'm also a big fan of Photo Genie. I can actually turn up the blacks, turn up the whites if I need to really make that color in the photo pop, the photo that I took with my iPhone. That same application also allows me to FTP it, or directly feed the photo from my phone into the servers at the publication so that they can push it up onto the web. I can also instantly share it to Facebook or Twitter. I'm a big fan of the Instagram app because you type in what you want to say about the photo once, you hit share, and whatever social networks you have selected for it to share to, it goes to. So it makes it a link and puts it on Twitter, and it makes it a thumbnail and puts it on your Facebook wall.
Hey there, Long Island, T.C. McCarthy here on the southernmost tip of Babylon Village. And as you can tell by the flooding storm surge behind me, and the gallons upon gallons of water that feels like falling on me, Hurricane Irene is just about here. Please stay tuned to Newsday.com for the latest on Irene's track and for the latest updates on this storm.
You press 3 buttons on your iPhone, and now thousands of people know whatever it is that you wanted them to know.
Well, that's pretty much all I have for today. Yeah, make sure we start gathering some thoughts about our poetry. That's what we do in our next unit. And don't forget the worksheet there. You can complete that for homework.